Editor's note: the following contains spoilers for episodes 1 to 3 of the AMC Plus series, Dark Winds. Dark Winds, AMC Plus's hit adaptation of the novels of Tony Hillerman, features Zahn McClarnon as Joe Leaphorn, one of just a few tribal police officers working on a large Navajo reservation in the 1970s. Hess assisted in this daunting role by fellow Navajo officers Bernadette Manuelito, Jessica Matten, and Jim Chee, Kiowa Gordon, the former of whom is embedded by the FBI. The focus of the series is the sudden and mysterious death of teenager Anna City, Shawnee Poirier, whose potential murder raises questions about the precariousness of women's lives on the reservation. And while her death is possibly linked to a more complex web of criminal activity happening in Leaphorn's remote surroundings, her untimely end is crucially juxtaposed in Episode 3 with the fates of two other women on the reservation. Collider video of the day. There's Leaphorn's niece, who's celebrating her Kiowa, a coming-of-age ceremony, after she menstruates for the first time. Then Terry's Sally Growing Thunder, Elvira, a young woman fleeing an abusive relationship and staying with Leaphorn and his wife, Emma, Deanna Allison, as she awaits the birth of her first child. The show's decision to spotlight three young women at radically different stages of their lives provides Episode 3 with a satisfyingly cyclical structure. But the episode is also a commentary on the patterns of abuse, poverty, and forced sterilization threatening the show's strong-willed female characters. Viewers are privy to the institutional indifference to Anna City's fate in episodes 1 and 2, when Leaphorn has to fight for her death to be taken seriously. Grappling with his own sense of responsibility for Anna, a friend of his late son's, he soon clashes with widower, Noah Emmerich, a white FBI agent investigating an earlier armed robbery on the reservation. Sadly, Widover and his henchmen downplay the severity of Leaphorn's case in favor of pursuing alleged Navajo radicals they believe are involved in robbery. One of Widover's colleagues even insinuates that Anna was a prostitute and is somehow less deserving of a fully fledged investigation. And when Leaphorn is faced with the heartbreaking task of bringing Anna's body home to her parents, we come to understand just how frightened the young woman was in her final moments and how few people, apart from Leaphorn and the grieving City family, are upset by her premature end. Learning of how little her life was valued outside her tribal community speaks to the very real plight of missing and murdered Native women, whose cases appear to be either fast-tracked or ignored by law enforcement officials in the United States. But paired with Anna's tragic burial is the promise of new life. Leaphorn's niece is exhilarated by getting her period for the first time, and enjoys the accompanying Kiowa ceremony. Sally Growing Thunder, initially remaining silent about the man who has abused her, goes into labor at the end of the episode. Tellingly, Leaphorn's wife, Emma, warns Sally against trusting the white male doctor at the community health clinic, who is known for sterilizing Navajo women without their consent post-childbirth. Without this word-of-mouth information, Sally could easily have suffered the same fate as Emma, who reveals that her ability to reproduce was taken away after the birth of her first child. Moreover, Emma's advice demonstrates how, even on the reservation, white men in power seek to control Native women's bodies, those same bodies that they're happy to neglect when they're missing or dead. Despite this, the episode strikes an optimistic note, with menstruation and childbirth, both biological rites of passage, offsetting the palpable fear and grief following Anna City's lonely burial. And though the show delves into the long-ignored issues of the murders, disappearances, and reproductive abuse of Native women, it also demonstrates how the women on the reservation seek to protect each other from such tragedies. In its portrayal both of the resilient network of Navajo women on the reservation and the overwhelming indifference and contempt they're faced with, darkens and imbues the lives of its female characters with wealth and richness and complexity.